Hello! Welcome back to Drug Story Time with Kfish. I'm Kfish. This is part 2 of the Fandom Trumps Hate thank you gift. Sorry, I just had like a laughing fit that has nothing to do with anything. Now I'm out of breath. So, noxelementalist, during the Fandom Trumps Hate charity campaign, bid on video from me. I honestly don't remember how long I said the video would be. But usually 30 minutes is about 2,000 words or so. And I don't know, I just felt like I would maybe do another one or two. Well, one video, 2 fics. So these are 2 short ones that I had picked out. Again, these are not fandoms that I'm part of, and I'm reading blind. I just happen to be familiar with this one. These are both from Star Wars sequels. So this one is general audiences, called 2 Braided Girls, with Leia and Rey. Now listen here, Comb, Rey snarled. I'm about to go on a very, very long journey to bring back a living legend. I need to look decent. Now move. Tugging very hard, she yanked on her comb, barely dragging it an inch before it finally broke, snapping into 2 pieces that remained tangled up in her hair. Rhea's shorts, she cursed, tearing the pieces out and flinging them towards the hall. Ow! A voice yelped. A voice Rey recognized belonged to General Leia Organa, who was rubbing her arm from where she stood in the doorway. Leia had had a long day. The morning had been spent trying to recover from all too many drinks during the resistance fighter had forced on her during the celebrations for successfully destroying the Starkiller base. Finishing up the Verdi Sparkletini. And the afternoon in tearing her best fighter pilot away from monitoring Finn's recovery, which she had heard about in painstaking, possibly romanticized detail, to plan Rey's flight to bring Leia's incredibly irritating absent little brother back to her. Who's younger again? Oh man, now I can't remember. She had been hoping to sneak back to her room safely. Apparently, Leia thought as she took in Rey's shocked and slightly red face, the Force has other ideas. I'm sorry, Rey said hurriedly. I was trying to comb my hair. You were trying to comb your hair? Leia asked. There was always too much sand on Jakku to do it properly there, but you can't meet Luke Skywalker with sand-trodden hair. Well, actually, so I managed to find a comb, but it wouldn't pull through. And I know I shouldn't get so angry at a comb, but you just couldn't take it anymore? Yes, Rey admitted. Yes. Leia understood. She knew there were days where you could save a planet with a blaster shot. Days where you tore your hair out because the stupid Nabooian ambassador refused to grant you entry without proof you couldn't give of your citizenship from a planet destroyed by a laser beam right in front of you, and days where anything, even the tiniest comb, was the last straw. Come with me. she said, grabbing Ray by the arm. What? Where are we going? Is this your room? Ray asked curiously when they stopped walking. It's so bare, Leia asked as she watched the younger woman take in the Spartan room that consisted mostly of a cot and a small desk. Practical, Ray said, watching as the General Leia Organa, who Ray still couldn't believe was an actual person, walked by her, reached into the lower drawer of the desk, and pulled out a small mirror along with an equally small metal comb. Sit down, the General said, gesturing toward the bed. Ray sat. My mother, Brea Organa, taught me this, Leia said, giving the mirror for Ray to hold as she grabbed a lock of Ray's hair. The trick is you brush it with a slight twitch, like you're buffing an engine part. Here, watch. Ray watched for a few minutes as Leia deftly worked the comb through her hair, the metal dully reflecting the light as it went. Your mother taught you this? Yes, Leia said. She taught classes on Alderaanian culture, and as a queen, she had to look good doing it. As her daughter, I was expected to look just as good as I learned. Sounds hard. Not as hard as life was after she died during the disaster. Ray coughed. I'm honored that you'd share this with me. My pleasure, Leia said. Now, it's 3 buns? I can do those, Ray said, putting the mirror down and hurriedly grabbing her hair. Never tried 3, the General admitted, watching as the younger woman tied a bun in her hair. 2 was all the rage when I was younger. Really? Oh, yes. I think it was because my mother favored them. Queen Brea wore buns? Leia laughed. No, I meant my birth mother, Padme Amidala. Here, let me show you. Ray's hands slowed, tying the last bun in her hair absent-mindedly as she watched the General turn the mirror over, press gently, and pop a small picture out of it. She's lovely, Ray said, absent-mindedly letting her hands fall. I know, Leia said softly, tucking the photo back into its compartment. I never really knew her, but apparently we had the same taste in hairstyles, and once everyone learned I was her daughter and Darth Vader was... Well, buns became very fashionable. Oh. I stopped after a while. I think I would have done the same. Thank you, Leia said. After a moment, she added, Look at me, getting sentimental when you have a flight to prepare for. Oh. Oh, Ray said, getting up. I just need to grab my pack. She started out the door, but before she went too far, Ray turned and pulled the General into a hug. Thank you for fixing my hair and everything. You're welcome, Leia answered kindly, cautiously hugging Ray back. And I promise I'll bring Master Skywalker back safe. Good. I'd really appreciate that. Because she's gonna bust his ass. That was cute. That was super cute. Leia doing Ray's hair. That was cute. Okay, so this one I picked based on the title alone. I did Rocky Horror for about 10 years. I played everyone. I think the only character I did not play was Rocky. I think. But I did Rocky Horror for about 10 years. I was the props director of one of the largest Halloween shows in the country for a while. So when I saw the title, in just 7 days I can make you a Jedi, if that's not from Rocky, I'll eat my shoe. And it's obviously also from Star Wars, which was an added benefit. Sorry. Okay. In just 7 days, I can make you a Jedi? General Leia Skywalker Organa Solo, last princess, imperial senator, and ambassador of Alderaan, supreme commander of the Resistance, and chief of state of the New Republic, found herself wishing she could bash her head into the wall. Again. That's a heck of a business card. Unfortunately, it appeared that while Force ghosts could do many things, smacking their incorporeal heads against stone wasn't one of them. "It's not hard, kid," she muttered. "You pick up the handle. You press the button. You spin the shiny. That's it. You know how to do that. Han told me he saw you do it. What, you just forget?" "It's possible," a voice next to her said. "You know how people are when they're under fire, and I'm not actually sure they're trained enough in the Force to hear you yet." Leia looked to her right, where the Force ghost of her mother stood. Padme Amidala... Oh gosh, I don't remember how to pronounce that. Nabir Skywalker, Her Excellency and Senator of Naboo, was dressed in a flowing ocean gown, its sapphire and emerald green drapes fluttering alongside Padme's brown hair in the Force. She looked exactly like the portraits of her that Leia had seen as a little girl growing up, mature and dramatic and wise. Of course, now as a mature woman in her own right, Leia mostly wanted to know how her mother had managed to bring her wardrobe with her into the Force. That's a fair question. "Well, sure," Leia told her mother after a moment, "but even children know how to swing sticks and make funny noises at the same time. Finn should be old enough to swing a lightsaber." Padme Amidala laughed. "Not everyone is like you and your father, dear," she told Leia. "Some of us actually need practice to reach adrenaline-driven wartime readiness in peacetime." "I guess. Though I suppose we can't blame him," Padme said, looking off the balcony of Valencro across the surprisingly still well-cared-for lawn in the direction that Leia had been looking. "Our lineage always did have a thing for military-grade fighter pilots." That's fair. Leia sighed, looking back across the lawn at the two men running across the grass. One, a lightly bronzed man with dark hair and olive canvas pants that matched a light khaki shirt, was just managing to sprint out of the reach of the other, a dusky umber man dressed in canvas and khaki clothes that he had clearly borrowed from the first, who was chasing after him with a glowing green sword waving in the air. "It's a bit hard to focus on Jedi training when you're dating your sparring partner," Leia said resignedly as she watched. "It was for you." "What?" Padme asked as her daughter groaned. "Somebody had to watch over you." "You watched that?" "Yes. It's not like I got to watch Annie train, and I do actually check in on my children every once in a while." "Oh. Besides," Padme went on, "it was great fun. You were so adorable, flipping around and swinging those things." "Weapon training is not adorable." "It was. It really was. You looked so much like your father, it was ridiculous. It almost made me wish you and Luke hadn't started sparring together just so I could see you keep flailing about." "Mom." Padme laughed. "Come on, dear," she said to Leia. "Let's check in on that granddaughter of mine. Rey has to have gotten to Tatooine by now." You think she could get them in order? Of course. She comes from a long line of women with tons of practice getting things done, Padme pointed out as the two began to shimmer away, leaving the balcony of Valencro behind and undisturbed. Oh, that was cute. Force Ghost Leia makes me sad, though. Understandably. Anyway. So those were two more by Noxelementalist. Once again, thank you so much for donating for Fandom Trumps Hate, and I hope that you like your gifts. See you next time.